let me try and record the class as well, maybe, if it works. Okay, so yeah, we can't record today. It's a bad day. It's a very, very bad day. Okay, so skills and knowledge, you need, that's a good answer. Skill is something you can see, but knowledge, maybe you can't see. Sylvia sits very quietly in the class. Maybe she has the knowledge, but I can't see. But someone in this class dresses up very well. So means you have a great skill actually to dress up. All right. So skill and knowledge is one thing. Now, if you move to the next slide, I have a question. Actually, I would like you to turn. Can you tell him that I might have to come back again and record? I don't think I can record today. No, it's not coming there, okay? So, can you talk to your friend? How do we know that learning has occurred? How do we know that? How do you know? How do I know? Maggie, today's class was good, and Maggie, you have learned so much. How do we know that learning has occurred? You can discuss with your friend. I'm giving you some time. You can discuss with your friend. How do you think learning has occurred? Okay, I can see this group very actively discussing. Anybody else? There. CJ is so excited. How do we know learning has occurred? Okay, we have one answer. I'm going to invite you to speak, so hold on. Guys here, you have your answers? Yeah? I gave you 50 seconds which are over, so I need volunteers to tell me, how do you know learning has occurred? Okay, I have one very enthusiastic hand here. Can you turn on your microphone maybe and share your answer?
Our group think we can give students the same exam before the lecture and after the lecture.
Excellent.
And we collect their results and compare them. So if the post-exam grade is higher than the pre-lecture results,
okay,
we can see that learning has occurred.
Excellent. That's a good answer. You can test learning, yes? Now, how many of you agree with her answer? That this is one way you can ensure that learning has occurred. Can I see your hands up? Everyone thinks that's a good answer? Anyone who thinks there is one more answer to that? No? You were trying to say something. Would you like to turn on your microphone and maybe share your answer?
I think by scientific way, we can clearly see the changing of our brain in the CT or the MI.
Wow. Okay, so he always gives really advanced answer. We can use the technology to check the areas of your brain which are stimulated and which are more active. It means learning has occurred. Thank you for that wonderful answer. I will come back to that. And since the recording is now working and we are 15 minutes late, but I would quickly like to go through the slides that I have missed so that the learning outcomes today is we will define what learning is, which we have done it already and we could not record that. So you know the definition of learning. I am going to introduce behaviorism to you. And I have also shared the handouts. You remember the handouts I've shared? I hope you read about it and you have some idea what is behaviorism and what is classical conditioning, which we are going to cover today. Okay, So you've already given me examples of what learning is. These are few examples that I have shared. I will come back to these examples if we have enough time. This is the definition of learning. So there are three important things: long-term, mental representation, and result of experience. Now, you must understand that learning is skills, knowledge, but also values and attitudes. Don't forget that. Remember, what did I learn today? Do not forget your card. Now, my question was, I gave you 50 seconds to discuss with your peers how would you know if learning has occurred? And you gave me a wonderful answer that you are going to give them a pre-test and post-test. ESON gave us a very advanced technical answer, technology-based answer, that we can use MRI to check if learning has occurred. How would you check if I have learned my lesson about not forgetting the card? How would you check that learning? We were struggling with the technology. I'm saying it so it's recorded. We were struggling with the technology because the card was not working. How would you measure that? How would you know I have learned my lesson? Please turn on your microphone and share your answer. How can we measure that?
To my personal opinion, I think memory or learning is long-term and it has a period. So maybe the experiment should be like check the knowledge after 1 week, 1 month, and several time spots.
How would you check what happened to me today? Oh my God, the screen is not working. I can't record. I have another class. I have learned my lesson. How would you know that I have learned my lesson? Yes, Zero, please.
I think we can explaining something in our own words, so we can check whether we learn these things.
Okay, that's one way to measure. But my question here is, how do we measure? Okay, Zero, thank you for giving that answer. So let's have a quick look at this slide. There are some kinds of learning that the literature says we can measure. For example, if you are performing a new behavior, like, hey, you didn't know how to swim, but I see now you can swim. Changing the frequency of an existing behavior. You had this habit of not listening to people, but now your habit has changed, right? Now you are not talking in class. Now you are paying more attention. Learning has occurred. I can see that. Changing the speed of an existing behavior. Frequency, right? Speed. I can type faster now. I could type earlier, but now I can type faster. Changing the intensity of a behavior. Like, I have learned if I come to the class and say, good morning class, how are you doing? Everybody is on their phones and chatting and watching something. But if I come to class and say, good morning everyone. Come on. Good morning. I have learned that if I speak louder, I can get your attention. This is my learning. So it can be measured. I respond differently to a stimulus means I have learned not to get stressed by test. Earlier I saw a test, my heart starts beating faster, I start sweating. So now I have learned how can I respond differently to a stimulus. The quality of behavior is improved. I had little bit knowledge of psychology. After attending general psychology, my knowledge has improved. So learning in all of these instances can be measured. However, you still did not tell me, how are you going to measure what happened to me today? My technology did not work. I mean, the card was not working. The IT came. Can you imagine what was going on in my mind, in my heart? No one can measure that. We will talk about that. So, this was all about what is learning. How do we measure it? But the story did not begin from what I was talking about. The story began in early psychology. They decided we need to study how human beings learn. Okay? There was no technology like Eason is talking about. There was no ECG. There was no MRI. Even there were no tests. We did not have tests. To Catherine, we did not have tests then to give test 1 and test 2. How do we know how people learn? The first school of thought was behaviorism, which is something we are going to discuss today. And there are other aspects, that's social learning and social cognitive learning, which we do not go so much in detail in your course. Now, what is behaviorism? You can see the slide. I don't want to just read the slide, but just for an overview, it's good, and we are going to discuss more. What is behaviorism? Behaviorism insists that psychologists should study behaviors and not internal states such as intentions and expectations. Behaviorist says, just study what can be observed. Did I come to class on time? Did I present slides? Do not measure what's happening inside me, inside my mind. So behaviorists believe in measuring learning, understanding learning through observable behaviors. Previous events led to the internal states, and therefore those events are the real cause of behavior. What you are doing now is the result of what you have experienced. Behaviorist goal is to explain that behavior without relying on terms such as idea or understanding. I don't care what did you understand. I just care what behavior you are showing to me. That was behaviorism. We will talk, this was a technical definition. I want you to do this quickly. Go to menti.com again, and please use this code. While you enter, I'm going to flash my questions to you, okay? Menti.com. Did you, the code is with you? Yeah? Okay. Okay. Can you all enter? If you cannot enter, I can show you again. The Menti code 7279328. Maybe, is this the one? Okay. Since it's a bad day today, there are big chances that it may not work. Okay, I'm sorry guys, because it is late. The code is new one, 10225099. 10225099. Does it say something went wrong? Reload. Can you all enter? Yes? Did you write? Okay, great. No, I'm sorry, that's not you. Okay, it seems you're writing. Okay. I'm very sorry in case. Can you try again, please? Animals and humans learn the same way, yes or no? The code is 388-15976. Do you guys think animals and humans learn the same way? So I have a good competition going on. A lot of people say no, but then I've got majority saying yes as well. Come on, guys. Yes, I have more yes. Oh my God, I have more no's now. No, 17 people believe. Oh, 18 people believe. Why? Yes, people, what happened to you? Animals and humans learn the same way. Quickly. 20 people believe. 21. Hey, yes, guys, why do you think? Why do you think animals and humans do not learn the same way? Okay, there is one more who believes that. Great. I would never know your answers. Who said who? Is that all? Okay, we don't have time, so I'm not going to stuck. Remember your answers here. A lot of people said no, but 14 people said yes. My second question, you might get it on the screen. You don't have to log in again. Learning means always change in behavior. I've got one person saying yes. Learning means change in behavior. Yes or no? I highly encourage all of you to participate here. Learning means change in behavior. You said no. Okay, great. Thank you. Are there any people? 26. 6 people there. Is that all? Okay, thank you. The last question. Learning can be directly observed and measured. Yes or no? Five people are saying yes. 23 people said no. Is that all? Done? Okay. If I were to ask you, why do you think so? You will be like, you told us, you will not ask us. Okay. Why did I ask these 3 questions? Because what you guys just said, okay, I must tell you the answer no is a good answer, but behaviorists believe, the early people who wanted to study human learning, they believe humans and animals learn the same way. So these 14 people did not read the handouts. In fact, you did not read the slides I just sent. Behaviorists used to believe, don't forget the assumptions of behaviorism. Behaviorists believe that animals and humans learn the same way. And why am I saying this? Because if you notice, most of the researches, early researches, were conducted on animals, dogs, rats. Their behavior was compared with human behavior. So these are the assumptions of behaviorism. You must understand these assumptions well. Behaviorist people says animals and humans learn the same. According to them, learning can be directly observed. I don't care what happened in your brain, like Aeson said. You have some change in your mental pattern. Behaviorists said, no, I don't believe in that. Learning can be measured objectively. According to them, we can measure everything that you have learned. My question to behaviorists and you, how would you learn what have I learned today? Okay? Learning means always change in behavior. Behaviorists said, if you have learned something, you will be able to show that. I have learned my lesson today that I lost 15 minutes of my class. I could not record. How do I show you that? Now. I can't show you that now, but behaviorists said we can observe the behavior almost immediately when you have learned. They also believe that human beings are born as blank slate. You can write anything you like on their brains. And you need to go back to Unit 1. Unit 1, remember? Determinism. Yeah? You can't decide anything on your own, your free will. Everything is happening because the environment. Okay? You're wearing jackets because you feel cold. The environment is forcing you to do that. Okay? Internal mental processes are not important in behaviorism, and we are controlled by our environment. If I say, everybody, stand up, I'm going to give you 1 extra credit. You will all stand up, isn't it? That's behaviorism. I am controlling your behavior by environment. I'm not letting your free will. Oh, what kind of a professor she is? How can she give extra credit without teaching us, without testing us? That's your mental processes. Behaviorism did not believe in that. They said, you want to know if somebody has learned, you would know through their behavior. So Pavlov's classical conditioning and Skinner's operant conditionings are 2 important aspects which we will be doing in the next class as well. What is classical conditioning? How many of you are familiar, or have you gone through the notes, the handouts that I've given you? Okay, can you just tell me which animal did Pavlov use to do his experiment? Can you turn on the microphone and say?
Dogs.
He used dogs, are you sure? Not rabbits? Pavlov used dogs, and he, the experiment that he conducted is known as classical conditioning. Now, please pay attention. This may look a little bit confusing in the beginning, but it is not at all confusing. Okay? What's this one? The first one? Unconditioned stimulus. You have to remember these words. We had discussed in sensation perception unit, stimulus. Yes? Anything in the environment that triggers some kind of response. That's stimulus, right? Unconditioned stimulus is an event. Okay, these are very technical words, but I have it there. I'm going to explain you in easier terms, so do not worry. Unconditioned stimulus means you behave, you respond without any condition. There is no condition. You just behave naturally. The unconditioned stimulus is the event that will make you respond naturally. Your response to that event is unconditioned response. Yeah, if you hit me, I'm going to cry. That's an unconditioned response. But we also have conditioned stimulus and conditioned response. And these 2 are the most important thing about classical conditioning. Okay, as I said, it looks a bit technical, but I have got some very easy slides for you to understand what classical conditioning is. Guys, pay attention. There are 3 stages in classical conditioning: before, during, after. Okay, so before, he presented a bell. He rang the bell, and he had fixed in reality in his laboratory, he had fixed a machine that measures how much the dog salivates. You know salivates? Everyone know the meaning of saliva? Okay, let me just saliva. When you think of pizza, your mouth has water. Yeah? In English, we call it salivation. You salivate. Oh, you smell something, you salivate. Pavlov wanted to know, if I ring the bell, is the dog going to salivate or not? Of course, what do you think? The dog is going to salivate? No. If I'm going to show you this mobile phone and I'm saying, hey guys, are you hungry? It's dinner time. Are you going to use it? Are you going to salivate? No. But if I say, here is pizza, what are you going to do? It's dinner time, and if I show you pizza, you are definitely going to salivate. This is a very natural response to this stimulus. Natural response. So we call it unconditioned stimulus. Very natural. Meat and the dog salivated. But this is happening before conditioning. So I'm going back here. Neutral stimulus. Why is this professor showing me her mobile phone? I don't salivate even though I'm hungry. That's a neutral stimulus. No salivation means no response. But I'm going to show you pizza. At this time, it's your dinner time. Definitely, most of you are going to salivate. So that's why it's an unconditioned response. Or you can also think in terms of natural response. So the dog did the same. Don't forget, before conditioning. Now, the real game begins. I am going to condition all of you. And here, Pavlov is conditioning his dog. What is Pavlov doing? Can anyone answer? Turn on your microphone and please answer if you understand the baby picture, the baby illustrations. It's very easy. What is Pavlov doing during conditioning? Can you turn? You don't have a microphone. Okay.
Give dog the chicken, will shake the bell.
He's going to ring the bell and then give the chicken. Ring the bell and give the chicken. So what am I going to do? Show you the mobile phone and then give you the pizza. Mobile phone, pizza, mobile phone, pizza. And that's what Pavlov kept on doing. He did it several times. He rang the bell, he gave the chicken, and the dog salivated. He rang the bell, he gave the chicken, and the dog salivated. Now, still, it is an unconditioned response. It's a natural response to this chicken. Now, what happens? The dog became conditioned. Conditioned in sense, he can control the behavior of this dog. So, he rang the bell. There is no chicken, yet the dog salivated. So what happens? The conditioning has happened. So here I am. Hey guys, are you hungry? And you will salivate. Because you know, when I show you the mobile phone, it will be followed by the pizza, the chicken. So there you go. This is how you can summarize classical conditioning. Before conditioning, neutral stimulus, no response. Unconditioned stimulus, conditioned response. This is where the magic is happening, conditioning is happening. After conditioning, look what happened. The bell that was a neutral stimulus, it changed into conditioned stimulus. You understand? Now the bell from unconditioned stimulus becomes conditioned stimulus, and this was the natural, here there was no response, and this was the natural response, unconditioned response. Unconditioned response becomes conditioned response. Okay, now everybody is nodding heads and it looks like you understand. Just to check your understanding, I would like all of you to go to this link. Okay, the link here, I've given you the link. I would see your names, so I'm sorry, this time you can't skip, but participate. What you have to do is give me one example, just one example in your daily life of conditioning. Okay? Now, you would go to the Excel sheet and you would see I have created a sheet and I have created neutral stimulus, unconditioned stimulus. When you give your example, I would like you to identify what was your neutral stimulus. This was my neutral stimulus. You not salivating was my no response. Unconditioned stimulus in my case was this pizza. Unconditioned response was you guys salivating, feeling hungry. Now my neutral stimulus changed into conditioned stimulus. You look at it and you salivated is my conditioned response. I would like all of you to log in to Excel. You guys don't have your laptop, please make sure bring your laptops to classroom, okay, so that you can participate. You guys, if you don't have your laptop, please use some pen. Anyone has paper and pencil who can give it to them? Please do not come to your classroom without your laptops, okay? We don't have the textbooks. Yes, you can use your textbooks and pens and pencils. Think of an example, identify neutral stimulus, unconditioned response, unconditioned stimulus, unconditioned response, conditioned stimulus, conditioned response. Okay? You can see the sheet learning. Can you take a picture? If not, I have sent you the slides already. You can look at that. I will take you to my slides. You've got some time, let's say 3 minutes to respond to that. I can see already some interesting answers coming. And okay, this is a great thing. I can see how many of you are participating. Just do not write CR. You need to identify CS. Yeah. Oops. I like the way Melantha is identifying which one is a conditioned stimulus and how does it change. Okay. I see the dawn and I know it's the time to take medicine. It's a Maggie, it's your example. It's a good example. Can you identify which one is the conditioned stimulus? You are doing that and CR is taking the pill. Do you also have a neutral stimulus, Maggie? Try and identify your example. It would be great if you can also give neutral stimulus example. Harry, national flag reminds me of the patriots that sacrificed for the country. Harry, that's great. So what was the neutral stimulus and what's your conditioned response? So I can see that a lot of students are writing conditioned response and conditioned stimulus. But I don't see a complete example of a neutral stimulus turning into conditioned stimulus. Can I have at least one example of neutral stimulus changing into conditioned stimulus? Come on, this was the neutral stimulus. It didn't do anything to your stomach, but I conditioned you. And now the moment you see the mobile phone, you salivate, you feel hungry. Yes.
When I got F, my butt is aching. When I got F, my butt is aching.
What did you say? Oh my God, your butt is aching. Wow, that's a good example. So, what is the neutral stimulus here? You got F is a neutral stimulus and you reacted the same way every time. I would like an example where you can tell me what was the neutral. Okay, I got some here. Great. Nicole, lockdown browser. Oh, great, Nicole. That's a great example. Thank you, Nicole. Where are you, Nicole? Yes, why did I call you Catherine? Nicole. This is a good example. When Nicole used to look at lockdown browser, nothing happened to her. And then she began to take tests on lockdown browser. Now, even though there is no test, whenever she looks at lockdown browser, the response is she feels anxious. Okay? Connie also has a great example. Allergy, unpleasant feeling, and then cat, unpleasant feeling. So now when she looks at the cat, she's become so conditioned. The moment she looks at the cat, she begins to feel unpleasant. Okay, these are some good examples. Okay, great. Melantha, that's a great example. No, neutral stimulus. Bell rings, nothing happens to me. But soon I realized when bell rings, it's time to go home. You associated the feeling of going home with ringing of the bell. So now, even though there is something else, she hears the bell and she feels good about it. So the sheet is always with you. You guys can go, and there are some good English course and yawning. Vigil. Okay. Low temperature and you tremble. Yeah? Low temperature, you did not do anything. I'm sorry, Della. You need to think more about it. Neutral stimulus. It's low temperature, you're not feeling something. Okay? Phoebe has a good example, but when I open the book, I want to play phone. Phoebe, what do you want to say? All right. There are some people who are still writing. You can continue writing on this, and I do not have that much of time, but I will go through your responses. The idea here is you should understand how does a neutral stimulus changes into conditioned stimulus. Okay. Thank you everyone for participating in that, and I hope you clearly understand. This is a good example that I've given you in the slide. You could have looked at that example. Unconditioned stimulus, alarm clock, and you are waking up on time, okay? But there is a click, okay? Your alarm clock makes a click before it rings. But now, when you listen to the click, you're already awake. There's another beautiful example is whenever you hear the drilling, you get stressed. Okay? Okay. Drilling, when you go to the doctor, it gives you pain, isn't it? So you have associated those two things. The association. So even when you hear drilling, you are going to feel stressed about your drilling. Okay? All right. Keep writing your responses if you're interested, and I will read them, and this example can help you form many other responses. Okay, quickly, there are few more phenomena in classical conditioning. Please pay attention. You might be asked some of these in your quizzes. So what are these? Extinction. Now, what is extinction? Just look at this example. The moment I show you my mobile phone, you all start salivating. Yay, pizza is coming. Then I bring my friends and professors and say, come and see. The students are conditioned. And then I'm going to see this, and everyone is like, pizza is coming. But pizza doesn't come. Okay? And I continue doing this for a while. What happens? Extinction. Extinction means you stop salivating. Okay? Spontaneous recovery. Oh, you're not salivating? Okay, let me bring pizza followed by this mobile phone. Mobile phone, pizza. After 2 days, you would learn again. That is spontaneous recovery. Pavlov played this a lot with the dog, and he came to know there's a phenomena like spontaneous recovery. He also talked about stimulus generalization, which is extension, which is if I would show you this phone and followed by pizza, you will salivate. But if I brought a red color phone and showed you, you would still salivate, right? Because you have sort of generalized, yeah. Like if you were bitten by a bee and it was so painful, if you see a wasp, you will be equally scared. But if you see a butterfly, maybe you won't be that scared. And the similar example is for discrimination. If you were bitten by a wasp, you felt pain. If you are presented with the similar stimuli, you may not feel pained. Okay? So these are some important phenomena. You can read more in your textbook if you're interested. And the last slide is, what is classical conditioning? What was basically happening? Now, can I have some responses? What was happening? Was the dog foolish? Was the dog like, could really, do you think Pavlov could really control dog's behavior? What was happening? Can I have volunteers? Can I have some answers? What was happening? Yes, Maggie?
When the dog hear the bell, it will imagine that there is chicken.
Okay. You're right. Say something.
So once the dog listens the bell, it think about chicken, and then salivation.
The salivation occur. Yes, thank you, Maggie. Thank you for sharing your answer. So basically, classical conditioning, what did they do? Pavlov presented two stimulus close together, and the dog, whenever dog hears the bell, the dog associates the bell with pizza, with chicken. So if you are, that's also called associative learning. If two things are happening together, you fail to distinguish between two stimulus. They both happen the first time. Basically, let's say this is the one that makes me thirsty, right? So if I see this, because every time I saw this, I got some drink. So even though it's not present, this is going to make me feel thirsty. Association. Okay? So Pavlov did association, and he said the dog has learned. Now I have a question quickly. What if the dog did not like the chicken? Do you still think the dog is going to salivate? Yes or no? Can I hear loud no? But behaviorists did not believe in free will. They did not believe in what's happening inside you. They just believed, how can I control you from through external controls, through environments. Okay? There is some stories that I have read in some textbooks that some students have conditioned their professors. You know how? When the professor went very far away near the door, students they decided in the class. They started asking questions. They set alert. But when the professor moved here, the students started talking to each other or maybe chatting or doing something on their mobile phone. So professor says, wow, if I stand here, they really behave well. So the professor made sure every time he or she stands here. This is a funny story. I'm not sure if it is true, but students were able to condition professors. Before I let you go, I want you to do this quickly. Okay? I'll let you go in 5 minutes. I know our time is over. We were late in recording our class. You've got 2 scenarios. Now that you know behaviorism, now that you know classical conditioning, let's say, okay, you don't have to give me the answer individually. You can talk with your groups. You are a kindergarten teacher, let's say, and you want to condition your students for cleaning up the room at the end of the day. What kind of conditioning do you think you can do in the classroom? Discuss in your group and keep your answers with you, okay? Second scenario. You are an alcohol addiction therapist. You help people get over the addiction. What kind of conditioning would you use to help a person leave alcohol? You've got 2 scenarios and 5 minutes before I let you go. What would you do as a kindergarten teacher? Your intervention, your program has to be classical conditioning based program. Okay? Classical conditioning. I'm going to call out group 1, group 2, random groups to share your answer. What can you do as a kindergarten teacher and an alcohol addiction therapist? Yes, I can hear some noises, so there is some discussion going on. That's good. Group 1, I've got group 1, group 2, group 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Ready? Yes? Yes, everyone is ready to share their responses? Can I invite you all to begin? Okay, Melanta's group is still trying. Okay? Are you all ready? Yeah? Okay? Okay. Should I go randomly? Group 6, where are you? Group 6. What would you do if you're a kindergarten teacher?
If I'm a kindergarten teacher, that I would give us something like the maybe give him or her a lollipop after he did the cleaning things.
Okay.
So for each one who participates.
Okay. So that is very, very interesting. Could you note down his response that he is planning to give lollipop after they have tidied up, not before, right? Okay, keep that in mind. I'm very sorry. It is classical conditioning. Are you sure? You are giving something after they have cleaned up. So group 6, for problem number 1, maybe, it's not wrong, but it's not classical conditioning. I'm giving you 2. Group 4, quickly. Group 4. Where is group 4? The idea for calling up so that you are all discussing. Group 4, are you ready? Where are you? Group 4, quickly. Is group 4 missing? Group 4, where are you? Okay. Would you like to turn on your microphone?
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe if some students clean up at the end of the day, the teacher will like give him sugar maybe.
Okay, almost the same response. Group 4 too. Group 2, quickly. Do not forget yours. Group 2. Okay. Maggie. Group 2. Okay.
Can we answer the question 2?
Question? Again?
Can we answer the question 2?
Okay. Question 2. Question 2.
If I'm the therapist, I will show him the vomiting material before he want to drink, because
Okay,
'cause
you
he
will
can't
show
feel
what
drunk.
material?
vomiting.
Okay, great. Group 2. That's a great answer. A therapist is going to show something terrible before the person is going to drink. So watching something terrible is going to cause uneasy feelings, and the moment the person would think of alcohol, the feeling of that video will be reminded. Yes, that's a good answer. So I'm going to give you group 2, 5 out of 5.
Professor, we have some different ideas
Excellent.
for question 2.
Question 2, because
Yeah.
the group 2 members are sitting too far away. Do not forget, you need to work together because you have one group project. But yes, I welcome your answer.
Like, if one get addicted to the alcohol, he must get some punishment before he drink it. Like, each time he drink the alcohol, he should donate $100. If he can just quit such behavior before he donating his money is better. But if he donated all his money, he will get no money to buy alcohol.
Excellent. That's a very good answer. But keep your answer for the next class. Guys, listen, there is something you are coming together. Yeswan's answer was watching a bad video before drinking alcohol. Your answer is drink alcohol and get fined. So there are two things happening. This is happening before you perform the behavior. This is happening after. Like my friends in group 1, in group 4 and group 6, they said when students will tidy up, I'm going to give lollipop to them. That is not classical conditioning yet. Okay, you will know that answer in the next class. Okay, but thank you, that was a great answer. Come on, I am happy with this answer actually. Okay, anyone has answer in which you do something before the behavior is happening? So anyone has better answer? If not, I'm still looking for a good answer here. Kindergarten teacher. So come on, give me an answer. We are 10 minutes over our class. A good answer, you all can go. How would you condition? Yes.
Give the presents to the students before they do the cleaning up, so next time they will like be the volunteer, something like that.
It's a close to good answer, but if I'm a teacher, do you think, hey everyone, candies, 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 now go and clean up your room. And next day, I just give them candy, they'll clean up the room. I have not conditioned. Any better answers? Hold on.
at first I think about if I was the teacher, I can do like this. Every time before the end of the day, I will tell the children, okay, today is going to over. Let's do some cleaning and give them one candy. But I told them, if you behave very good, I will give you one more candy.
Okay. So the idea here is one candy, behavior, and another candy. Okay. So it's a little bit of mix of conditioning. It is good, but I'm looking for another perfect answer. Any other group, volunteers? Okay, come on. Tara, go ahead. It's okay. It's okay.
I think make a competition. A competition. Who is the clean the classroom most cleanest? It could be prized in front of the whole class.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, you are talking more about following the behavior, but keep your examples ready for the next class. You will see the difference. I was really a kindergarten teacher a long time ago. You know what? I have to condition my students for cleaning up before they go home. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to say, students, stand up, tidy up the class. They will tidy up. Second day, students, stand up, tidy up the class. They will tidy up, right? This is what I do. And I'm so tired of saying same thing again and again. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to play a song. Yes? Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And then followed by my instruction. Hey students, stand up and tidy up the room. You know what will happen in 7 days or maybe 10 days? The moment I will put Old MacDonald had a farm, the students will automatically know it's time to tidy up and I don't have to scream on my lungs out. That's conditioning, okay? You are all conditioned about so many things in your life. Please go to your dorms and read before we meet to the next class again. Thank you very much for staying up 10 minutes late for me. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. See you again. Do not forget your assignments. If you have any questions, you can come and ask. Yes.
How many words